Hello, everyone, and welcome to Almost Real, an honest talk between two friends. I'm Josh, and I'm joined with my lovely co-host and co-star and co-conspirator, Camilla.
Hi, everyone. Co-conspirator. What the?
Well, I
What
mean,
the?
we can't talk about it on the podcast, but all those crimes we've done.
You mean those we did together?
You know the things you've done.
Of course. How could I ever forget that?
Anyway, it's not for the podcast. Instead, let's have an honest talk between two friends about real things. So, Camilla, what's new with you? How are you doing? Let's little friend check-in at the top of the episode. What's new with Camilla? I'm gonna put like a little musical sting in. What's new with Camilla?
Nothing much, actually. Just little bits of that,
Really?
of that, and no, no, of course not. It's been so soon. School is going to start tomorrow. I think school is starting tomorrow here, and everyone kind of came back home yesterday, and they were chilling a lot in their gardens and just in the park and everywhere. And tonight, it's complete silence. Like, I'm in the garden, and I think I'm the only one talking. I barely can hear any other sound.
Are you just going out into your garden and going, wow, it's just me out here. It's so nice.
Well, you go out to look at the stars from time to time,
Sure.
as you always do.
Where are we?
We are in the real world. Anyway,
I don't think that's true.
I'm at a conservatory, that's right in the garden that I have in the place where I live now. So technically I'm kind of in the garden. That's why I hear, or don't, any other neighbors. But it has been quiet since like 7 p.m. already. I think everyone was just going to sleep early, just try to get ready for tomorrow, for a big day. So I think school on my mind.
Your daughter is too young for school, right? Is she going to kindergarten?
She will be going to kindergarten. Yeah. No, she will start nursery kindergarten this October, but
Ooh.
yeah, and later on she will be preschool, but she still is not at this age. But in the UK they start school at 4, and as her birthday is in summer, she's going to be one of the youngest kids to go to school, because she has a friend who was born in autumn, and they're similar age, but he's going to school 1 year later than her.
Because he won't be 4 until after admissions.
Yeah.
Oh. Interesting.
But schools are, I know, when I left school myself, I was so happy that the spirit of my life ended, because I'm not a morning person. I hate waking up in the morning. It's just like the worst nightmare for me.
Was that always the case, though? Because I think quite often with young kids, you having a young child yourself, they love waking up early in the morning. They're like, oh man, it's 5 a.m., time to jump on the bed. Time to, I don't know, break something.
Weird enough, it's easier for me to wake up for my daughter rather than for, I don't know, a job.
I don't find that weird. That makes a lot of sense to me.
Just generally, I'm not a morning person. I talk less. I am very grumpy. I do make a lot of effort not to be like that for my daughter in mornings, but also, as she has her dad, who is my partner, he quite often takes mornings off my hands. So, like, he is in the morning with her most of the time. And I can sleep a little bit longer.
Well, it's good that you have, that arrangement, as it were.
Yeah. No, I mean, mornings are not that bad. For example, today I was the one who woke up early and we did pancakes together with my daughter. It was really nice. And then we mixed dough for bread. So, I mean, it's pretty nice.
I guess it's Sunday morning, right? That's what you do on a Sunday morning is you make brunch, you have, a bunch of stuff. Oh, that's nice. Fresh baked bread too. So good. Remember in the pandemic during that time period when everyone was making bread? Where everyone was like, I'm going to be at home and I'm going to make bread. Did you end up doing that?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Me too. 100%. My first loaf of bread I made was such a travesty though. So bad. It was, I don't know if I didn't let the yeast activate enough or whatever it was. It was flat, it was dense. My wife's like, "This is good," grimacing through the pain of trying to chew and eat it. But the second loaf turned out much better.
Oh,
I
that's good.
would say. But yeah, no, it was what a wild time where everyone collectively throughout the world went, "It's time to bake bread."
No, I didn't do that during pandemic because I love to bake. I never liked to bake bread because I didn't really understand how to make it, and I didn't like to have this thing that you kind of activate, and then you add a little piece of it into
Yeast.
your no yeast. I know.
Are you talking about like a sourdough starter?
Yeah, like a starter. But there is this specific word that they use for it. No, I
You know
forgot the
the
word.
French
Anyway,
word for it.
yeah, exactly. I was trying to remember the French word for it, but I can't. It's also the same word being used when they start croissant dough, like the real croissant. Levant, maybe levant, but I'm not sure. I've watched a masterclass.
The vent?
No. Levant. No, levant.
Is that not just the vent?
It's not just the
Isn't that the
wine.
desert, like the purpose of it? I mean, I'm uncultured, North American rubbish, but Le Vent sounds a lot like to me like the vent, and considering it is where the steam escapes from, almost like a vent.
No,
No?
no.
Well, then what is it in English?
I don't know. They use the French word all the time.
I'm gonna,
Well, I
I'm
mean,
gonna,
British.
I'm gonna look it up.
British
I'm gonna
people.
look it up. You keep talking. You keep talking. I'm gonna look up Le Vent.
I watched a masterclass on how to make croissants for 30 minutes. Can you imagine that? I once did that in my life. Because
Yeah.
I really wanted to make proper croissants. Yeah, okay, you know me. You probably would imagine.
I do know you. French. Search for a language.
French dough starter.
I'm gonna type in the vent and see what comes up.
No, just right.
Oh.
It's L-E... What?
Le vent? The vent?
No, levant. No,
Is
it's
it
pronounced
mirrored on
levant.
your screen?
It's no,
Levant.
it's pronounced levant. It's levant, and I'm saying
Well,
levant.
let me write it in French. Le vent. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Is this you correcting my pronunciation of me being correct though?
No. Wait. Let me have a look at this as well. Le vent. Yeah, le vent. That's the word. What's le vent? Le vent. And how is it different from a starter? Look, I even found an article about that. Basically, it's a dough starter. But British people use this word. They say le vent, like in a broken French. They say courgette and aubergine. What else did you expect from them? Oh, actually, look what it says.
I can't see. It's so blurry.
Okay. It says leaven, or it actually says
Leaven.
sourdough.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Leaven.
Leavened. Leavened. Like leavened bread.
Why do you add T?
No. Duh. Leavened.
The
Leavened. Not
Any-
not leavened. Levant.
No. Anyway,
Levant.
this thing, and you kind of need to
The
grow
vent.
it. I don't want to get my head around that.
I'm so wrong about this, and I'm really fighting to be right about something I'm so wrong about. Anyway,
Bread. I make very simple bread now. It's very simple. It doesn't have levain in it.
I definitely, when I made bread, did not add levain into it.
No. Well, I mean, everyone here were obsessed with that idea. So that you kind of make this dough starter and you kind of grow it in your fridge or on your windowsill. I don't remember the procedure for that. I think for fermentation you need to put it into the fridge, otherwise it would become sour, which is kind of the thing you want. So you'll probably anyway. Too complicated for me. It was too complicated for me. So I didn't make it. But I found very easy recipes for some different, like baguette and sort of like just basic white bread and basic wholemeal loaf. And I quite like them. So I kind of make them from time to time because they're super easy. Super easy.
That's fantastic. There's nothing better than homemade bread. Well, there's some things that are better, but it's up there. It's near the top of the list for sure.
It's nice, yeah. It's nice to have. It's also the smell of
I know I
a
want to
freshly
make bread.
baked bread. I can send you the recipe. It's very
It's a
easy.
very. So as you heard, I just got a message from my father into our family chat. So here's what my dad sent. I'm at the bathroom outside the women's on the bench from yesterday. So they obviously have lost each other. And they're using the chat that we're in because apparently this is very important for my wife and I to also know where my dad is located in relation to the bathrooms. And this is why this is one of the reasons why my wife and I talk about they should have a separate chat.
To be fair, if they have another chat, they might kind of get lost between all the chats that they have and write some occasional messages into our own chat. No?
No, we're not a very social family. They just need a separate one that's like, this is like our work chat because this is a work thing that we're doing. Funny. My dad's also horrible with technology. It frightens him. It makes him feel anxious and nervous. For years and years and years and years, he didn't have a cell phone. And then when he gets it, he can't stop using it, I guess, but for like games. So my dad went through a very big Candy Crush like moment. My dad played so much Candy Crush, so much time he spent on Candy Crush. Now he doesn't play Candy Crush anymore. He plays Hearts. Hours.
Well, speaking of games, I never could get into any game. I mean, like, if I like something, I could play it for, like, I don't know, 2 weeks, tops, and then I just forget about it. Because, I mean, like, all those games sort of, like the Counter-Strike, Warhammer.
Yeah.
I tried playing, I think, Counter-Strike, and I ended up hiding somewhere behind a barrel, chatting to everyone who was in the game because I was bored. And my friend who gave me his profile, and he was like, I can't believe you don't play that. I was like, well, let's see. I'll give it a shot. So I started playing. I got very bored. I hid behind, I think a barrel or something. I kind of found a spot. And I basically started chatting with everyone because there is a live chat of everyone playing, right? And there are mainly boys. And I was a girl. And they were like, oh my God, you're a real girl. I was like, yes, I am. What's the deal? And the moment my friend came back, he was like, what you doing? I was like, well, I'm chatting with everyone. He's like, why? I was bored. I wanted to talk to someone.
I get such anxiety with playing with people online. I'm a very socially anxious person. I don't know what it is, but I can't, I get sweaty and hot, and I'm like, if I have to play a game with online communication. I just don't know how to communicate with people online. So hearing your story where you were like, I got so bored of the game, I just hid, fills me with just incredible amounts of anxiety of the idea of having to just talk to a bunch of strangers somewhere out there in the world.
Texting is also anxious for you. Like, I was not really talking to them. I was just sending messages, texting in the chat. It's the same amount of anxiety.
It's such a weird thing. I become super hyper aware. Talking to people face to face, I find much easier to navigate. But when I'm online, I don't know, I feel like there's more pressure almost in a way. And I really, I have such a I don't want to be othered sort of complex. I'm just so worried I'm going to say the wrong thing and be ostracized from a group, which is wild because it's the internet and who cares? No one knows me. It's not a reflection on me at all, but it's so in my brain. The way I just thinking about it right now, I'm starting to get a little it's very tough for me. And I do not enjoy those kinds of games where you have this social interaction. If it's with people I already know, that's great. That's so much fun. If it's with strangers, it's so hard. It's so hard.
I think I kind of get the idea about feeling as an outer by saying something wrong or even not wrong, but something that I would think wouldn't fit into the community. I don't have this online because I don't really worry that much about strangers. That's why it's very easy for me to have any kind of conversations with strangers. Not so long ago, I had a very random guy at a shop. I just went out of a small local shop, and there was this guy, and his name was Christ, I think. He called himself Christ. Oh no, sorry. He was Chris. I made him Christ in my head because it felt like he was a very religious guy, and I was like, okay. What he said, he started sharing some very deep thoughts with me. And the moment I say that I'm actually Russian, kind of shocked him a bit. But then he said, I actually think like your president is the true guy. Like he tells the truth, like honesty. And I was like,
no.
I just came out of the shop. I wanted to eat a sandwich. I was waiting to eat a sandwich. And I was eating a sandwich because I wanted to eat a sandwich. And he was telling me all this while I was eating a sandwich. And I was like, but I'm a political scientist. And I'm a sociologist. So I've talked to a lot of different people with a lot of different opinions. So I never kind of rush on any decisions, basically, or judgments about people. I'm like, okay, you feel like he's been honest. I was like, what brought you to this idea? How did you come up with this conclusion? He was like, oh, so I watched our politicians talking about his speeches, but then I saw his actual speech being translated, of course, but still him talking, and it felt very honest and coming from the heart. I was like, okay, sounds fine. I mean, different people feel different things from different politicians, people, friends, whatever. No problem. It is a feeling you got. Then I usually say my usual judgment about politicians, how bad or good they are, is the level of the society, like the level of life of the society that they lead has. And if the level is very low, that means that they are probably doing a bad management job because they're basically just managing the country. So I'm telling him like the level of life in Russia is very low and it's getting even lower now. Not speaking of another country that he's just destroying basically on other people's, like for no reason. Like he's killing lots of people for no reason. And at this moment he's like, interesting. But here in Britain, he kind of got back to the loop. Things are not that good as well. Things are getting worse. I was like, I know, but I've been there and I've been here. And here things are much, much better than there. And your worse is not really worse in Russia. Like your worse is kind of Russian good. So yeah, that's a casual conversations I have with strangers from time to time coming out of my shop.
Yeah, I don't know. Lately, I have been noticing that I am just not good in social situations. I used to be probably better. Maybe it's a COVID thing, regression, sort of. Haven't been out as social as I was before. But yeah, even just yesterday, we're puppy sitting. So we need to take her out for walks so she's not as crazy. So we went to the dog park last night. Really nice dog park. Huge dog park. Right next to the river. Beautiful. And a bunch of people also had their dogs there. And their dogs are all running around. They're all playing with each other. We were the only people who had brought like balls to throw. And then the other dogs loved that. And they were also trying to get the balls. And everyone was being chased. And we were the most favorite people at the dog park. This is all tangential to the actual, what I'm speaking about, which is the owners come up and they talk to you and they go, oh, your dog's so nice. Oh, yeah, she's so, like, she looks so good. What is she? Da-da-da-da. Just like this kind of small talk. And I don't know if it's like, I'm just not interested in you and your dog, or I'm just not interested in this conversation. But it's a lot of me going, oh, yeah, no, she's like a standard poodle and yeah, she's 9 months. Just silence. I don't do follow-up questions, and I'm like, okay, I don't know what to do in this situation. We're just gonna walk away now.
But did you want to interact with these people?
I know. I have no interest in them.
I never saw you struggle with a conversation like a small talk or stuff like that. So I thought that you were super easygoing with a small talk with anyone, basically. Well, turns out I was wrong.
You were so wrong. I've always been very introverted, and I can like all introverts, right? Turn it on and, interact with humanity. It's just exhausting. And I don't know, maybe I'm just more tired in my old age or getting more crotchety. I've hit my old man stride and I'm only in my 30s. Just hit it really, really early. I don't know. Probably need to do a little bit more self-reflection. But yeah, it's weird. It's weird for me to interact with people. And it could be that maybe it's still a little bit of culture shock. There's not a lot of small talk that happens in a shop in, say, Moscow. Not a lot of people go, "Oh, you're buying 2 tubes of Pringles. You must be having a party tonight." I'm like, nah, man, it's just been a sad week. It's just been a real sad week.
No, but I mean, it's very interesting. I mean, when you do a lot of interviews on the street, it's not an easy thing to do in Russia. And I think it's like a hard way of learning how to talk to strangers, because I've had lots of situations. I've had once a man who was trying to convince me that I'm not from Moscow originally. But it gives you kind of hardcore skills on talking to strangers.
I used to do fundraising when I was kind of fresh out of college. So I did it a little bit on the street. So getting people to try and donate to charity. We were working with UNICEF and UNHCR, so political groups, United Nations groups. People had a lot to say about that. But I primarily did door to door, so knocking on strangers' doors and talking and engaging with them. So I feel you in that sense of like, yeah, it is trial by fire to, start up a conversation and elicit a response and try to, in my case, try to get money from them, which was hard. But it's still I agree with you that there are a lot of skills you pick up in that, and that's why I think maybe it is post-COVID, changing countries, sort of still adjusting to where I'm at sort of situation, because I was more sociable. I had more social skills, more social grace, as it were. Now I'm like a big old panda bear. How they kind of like just totter around and they fall over a bunch and everyone's like, oh, that's kind of cute, but like, why are we still focusing so much energy on keeping this thing alive? So that's kind of where I'm at.
Well, can you imagine how a new mom or new parents feel like when they just welcomed a baby and they just have been basically in their family circle only for a few months, and then they kind of start to go somewhere? I felt so bad talking to people. I felt like I was saying all the wrong things, although I never said anything rude to anyone, and I was just like asking like, how are you doing? How is life? Oh, this is so nice, and stuff like that. And I felt very weird after a few months of welcoming my daughter, just going out and talking to people. And I mean, you can't really talk about poop with people. You're like, oh, but her poop changed, that's good. Or like that she crawled 2 steps further today than yesterday. It's like, people don't care. My daughter ate avocado and she was all in avocado. But, well, at least it's not poop. So I was like, okay, that's better to share.
Well, hey, depends on your diet, but it could look very much like it.
True, yeah.
Diet dependent. I think that's actually avocado's slogan. Diet dependent. This could look like your poop.
Really?
No, it's not actually their slogan, Camilla. There's no avocado farm out there that's like, hey, you know how to get those teens eat our big green berries?
Well, it's not cheap here, but it's not like crazy expensive. You could still afford to buy it. You won't really think too much before buying it.
Miss Money Pants over here just buying avocados like they're apples. You're buying avocados like they're apples. Mrs. Moneybags.
I even didn't forget to put a ring today on my finger. Actually, I'm so shocked. People are very... When our friend figured out that neither me nor my husband really care about wearing a ring, that we constantly forget putting it on, that we just basically don't really care because it doesn't change anything. Like, if you have a ring, if you don't, it doesn't stop you being married to someone. It just doesn't. It's not the way it works. But our friend was very confused that we don't care about it. She was like, but why don't you put it on? We were like, because we forget. She's like, why do you put it off? We're like, because it's so comfortable to sleep with it. She's like, if I marry, I think I'll be wearing a ring all the time. I was like, oh, okay, no problems. I mean,
Good
people do that.
Yeah.
I'm very, very happy, but like, And as far as I understand, people are very confused. And also, I've realized when I'm on playgrounds without a ring and alone with a baby, I feel like some fathers are afraid to talk to me, or like they are more concerned talking to me. It's actually interesting how we are overthinking that so much, while there are lots of people who really actually flirt with others, and it's usually very clearly seen through the way they talk, the way they act. And I'm 100% sure that the way you talk, it's just politeness, I'd say. No, well, to be fair, okay, wait. I was just thinking, I'm a very flirty person. I flirt. It doesn't go anywhere further because I'm not in polyamorous relationship. And I mean, if I want to do something, I'd rather just get into try a polyamorous relationship rather than destroy the relationship I have now. I mean, something like that, either open or poly.
You're not going to do anything because you respect your husband. Yes.
Well, no, not
No,
really.
you don't respect him. Sorry, I spoke to you.
I didn't mean that. Damn it, he's listening to that.
He's right behind the camera there, right? Just shaking his head.
No, right now. No. Anyway, because we kind of agreed to that, like, if we want to do something else, we just talk before doing stuff. So basically, I'm a flirty person, and I flirt, and he knows about that, and I like doing that. So sometimes I do really flirt with other people. Not fathers on the playgrounds. This is a very weird zone for me. Like, I would never. And also, lots of women are very protective of their man. They're very afraid someone might want to steal them. Yeah, anyway, not on the playgrounds. I flirt with like random guys somewhere. I haven't done this in a while, so I don't even remember where I do this usually.
Everywhere. Camilla flirts everywhere.
That's not true. But I did like to do it a lot before. And I mean, sometimes people confuse that for me wanting something else. And it's not going anywhere. Sorry about that. It's just, I just wanted to have some fun. Sorry. Bye. Yeah, it's basically, I think it's just me loving to act differently, just different personalities, different characters. Always liked it, and I kind of implemented it into my life. It's probably not very healthy, not very good, but...
There's going to be a psychologist listening to this sometime in the future and go, so much to unpack here.
Yeah, I probably also need a therapist. But I mean, they're super expensive. That's also another problem.
But you can afford avocados. Obviously, you can afford a therapist.
Avocados! Oh, really? Let's just skip avocados all in all.
Yes, let's shift topics. Here we are, abruptly shifting topics to the main thing we were supposed to talk about.
It's not the main thing. No, don't make it the main thing.
What's the main thing now?
Oh dear. It's not, I just, don't really think that people talk about that.
What did you read on the internet?
So, I read about a boyfriend, or I don't remember what kind of relationship they had. I think boyfriend-girlfriend. So, boyfriend was complaining anonymously about his girlfriend not shaving her armpits.
Oh, interesting. And he shaves his armpits too, correct?
Well, he didn't say that, but I'm pretty sure he doesn't. Your thoughts?
Oh, my thoughts. It's unfair to ask someone to do something you're not willing to do yourself. I'm not a huge fan of body hair in general, but mostly on me. I don't really care if it's on a woman. I do shave my armpits. I'm a very sweaty, smelly guy, and I find that it does help. So, I'm pro shaving armpits, but I'm also pro not telling a woman what to do with her body. So, pro shaving armpits for me personally, and pro not telling a woman she should do something with her body. That's sort of where I'm at. Yeah. What about you, Camilla? Well, how do you feel about body hair?
I actually have a very long relationship with body hair because I always hated my body hair. And I had a lot of body hair. I still have. And they're dark because I have dark hair. Everything's dark. And it's like you can see this hair. You can't pretend like they don't exist. And as everyone throughout my teenage years and later at the university, They had shiny, smooth legs, zero hair in the armpits, ideal brows. I was like, oh man, I'm gross. I'm like, I have hair everywhere. I can't handle this. It's just too much. So I was waxing mostly. But the problem with waxing is that you still need to wait for the hair to grow after you waxed so that you can wax again. So there is this period of time when you're hairy. So I kind of got back into shaving, and it's just a disaster because I had redness and like itchiness everywhere. It's just the worst. My skin was very sensitive to razor. I knew that, but I still just took a razor and just shaved my leg without any, I don't know, sort of like scrubbing my legs before, like putting some cream on before. No, nothing. Why would I?
Or after even.
Or after, nothing. No.
Really, Camilla, so bad for your skin.
I know. But I was old enough to know better, but I didn't. I think it kind of goes back to body shaming, or like how you shame your body, or how you are comfortable or uncomfortable with it. And only recently I have started to kind of work on this a lot. And I kind of started to let this hair thing go. Like if I have hairy legs and I wear a skirt, I don't really care about it because it's very hot outside and I want to wear a skirt. Yes, I would still think a lot about it. I would still see my leg. I would put a longer skirt, but still tiny steps. So you kind of have to love your body. It's so much better for you. And I'm just starting to work on it.
All of this being said, is there a better feeling than freshly shaved legs under the sheets? Because I remember when I was in university, I was doing a play. I was in a play, I was cast in a play, and the character, there was a line in the play about how he had shaved legs. So I had to shave my legs, and I had to shave my legs multiple times over the course of doing this show. Funny thing too is I didn't have to shave all of my legs because I was wearing like boxers on stage. So I did only shave up to like where the boxers were. So I had like little furry shorts, neither here nor there. But I remember like having like shaved my legs and then got into bed and just being like, have my legs rub against each other and the blankets and stuff. And I was like, this feels so good. It is a very good and satisfying feeling. Anyone listening out there who has never experienced that, you should try it.
On this note that you said, I feel like I need to share this thread that I read about men feeling feelings to other men. And one man was like writing a comment about Henry Cavill, basically. And he said that if Henry Cavill would come to me in his Witcher costume, kind of pressed my hands against the wall, and would start kind of kissing me or something like that, I would be absolutely fine with that. And there are other men, they're like, yeah, me too.
Yeah. I could see people being very attracted to that. I would find that intimidating and scary.
True. Yeah.
And Henry Cavill, if you are listening, why? First of all. Second of all, thank you. And third of all, please don't. For me, I'm sure Camilla would be all up for that.
No. I hate feeling any sort of like when people make me do things. So if someone would press me against the wall, like I would never be like sexually aroused from that. The first thing I would want to do is just punch this person in the face, or like just get myself free. That's the point. Sadly, women still need to be aware of that. A lot, and that's sad. So I wouldn't like that. Only if it was an agreed role playing that we would come up to. Then probably yes.
Any situation I present is always consensual.
Yeah. So if it's consensual, then yes. Without consent, no, please don't. Even if you're awesome and hot and you know everyone wants you, please don't.
Yeah, I think that should go without saying. Hopefully, it's kind of sad that we live in a world where it doesn't. Anyway, off topic. Hair on legs. Hair on bodies. Hairy bodies.
What?
Yeah, yeah,
It's just
exactly.
it's just
What?
fine.
It's
Everyone
fine.
has
Yeah.
hair. I'm so shocked that
Well,
people
not
still are
everyone has
worried.
hair.
True. But I'm very confused how people are still confused by hairy bodies. Doesn't make you better or worse. It's just hair.
With hair, you shouldn't care.
Well,
Bob, I
even
think we've
without
got it. We found the slogan for our avocado farm.
even without hair, you shouldn't. I think for avocado, it yeah, it's more without hair. You shouldn't care.
No, with hair you also should. Oh, for avocados.
For
With hair,
avocados,
be
yeah.
aware.
With hair,
Without
be aware.
hair,
Without.
no scare. Yeah, avocados. Ba-da-bow-bow-do-bow. I don't
World's
know.
fun
I don't even
fair.
know what we're talking about anymore.
Yeah, it's a
We sure
bit
talked about
confusing.
avocados a lot.
Yeah, that's weird. Why are we talking about avocados? I'm not even such a big fan of
They're
avocados.
expensive.
So what?
You're
There are
not.
so many
I
other expensive
I like them.
things.
All fruits and vegetables are so expensive. The inflation here in Canada. I don't want to get into it. I don't want to get into it. I'll talk for too long. I'm too upset. I'm getting too upset already. You know why I'm probably talking about avocado so much? I might be hungry.
Oh, yeah, that could be.
There it is. There it
We're
is.
growing cucumbers and tomatoes in our garden.
So are we.
Yay, that's sweet. We're old and sweet.
Yeah, it's the best though. It's the coolest thing to like plant a plant and then get stuff from it. Oh my god, it's the coolest thing. And then you're like, I'm gonna take this tomato and I want to chop it up and this cucumber and put it in a salad. It's gonna be amazing. And it is. I love it. I keep thinking now, I'm like, what else can we plant? We have no space, no land. We are on a mountain and we have no yard. Our tomatoes grow in a box.
You could do it on a balcony?
We do, yeah, we do have lots of space on our balcony too, and just get some boxes and plant a bunch of stuff. I thought about it too. I'm like, it would be so great to have like a little orchard or something, like a bunch of fruit trees. Mostly because inflation has made the price of fruit skyrocket.
Wait until you get a kid who's gonna eat all the berries, like blueberries, raspberries, and strawberries all the time, and you will have to buy that all the time because you would want to give your baby the best. So it's a whole new level.
Yeah, so let's buy some land together and have an orchard, and then it's free.
One of our other friend, it's been a while that she has been suggesting us buying an island together, live in there, buy our own in our own community, growing
Build
stuff.
a commune. My mom talks about that sometimes, where she's like, oh, it'd be great if we bought like a large piece of land and we had like 3 houses and all of us could live on the land and have these different houses for each of us, so we don't have to live together, but we can all still kind of live together.
I mean, it's not a crazy idea. I remember some friends, they were like, they also had a kid, and like, especially families with kids of similar age. It's like super expensive to buy a house, but if you buy like a big house and share it together with like between 2 families, it's much, much easier to afford. I even, again, read a thing on internet how 2 single moms with approximately similar aged kids bought a house together because individually they couldn't afford it, but together they did, and they were just it's just free babysitting. It's basically like co-parenting if you are divorced. I was so confused by this thought, how everyone is so happy when they're just co-parenting after a divorce. I was like, are you just like, you're literally promoting it too well that people need to get divorced.
You had to talk to your husband a little bit.
I told him all this stuff because, like, you know, the thing that they tell me, they're like, oh, I got my social life back because I kind of have 3 days off, and it's kind of the way they do it now is either a kid lives with a mother for 3 days, then a father for the rest, or like they split the days basically.
Vice versa.
Yeah, or the kid lives at the flat that they both bought and they come to the kid like for some days, and for like they share days. But for the rest of the days when they're not with kid, they can just basically do what they did when they didn't have a baby, which you basically can't do if you are a family with a baby. I mean, not promoting to get divorced, because I'm not, and I hope I won't be getting a divorce anytime soon.
Depends if your husband listens to this podcast.
It was He will. But you will cut. But you will cut. But you will cut. Anyway, so just people were promoting this idea so well. I was like, you just need to do a work. Just don't be so good at this job. Just stop promoting this. This is unhealthy. Don't do that.
Stop promoting this. It isn't healthy. Well, I sort of on the same track. I've really thought about, you know how you can buy like €1 houses in like Italy. They're garbage places that no one wants to live in, places no one wants to live. But they often have like 10, 15, 20 houses. Like they're like decaying, like dying villages. And I was like, well, if we got like, 20 people together, 20 like friends together, and we all bought a place in Italy and we all spent time like fixing it up and like taking over this village essentially, build like a little theater there or something, do like shows and whatnot. Be fantastic. That would be so cool. That would be great. Revitalize the community, bring arts in, have a little commune.
It's actually a thing. An acquaintance of mine, she actually launched a business where what she was organizing were tourist trips into not abandoned villages, but villages that are very, very small and like with 3 houses or like 2 houses. And the idea was that people actually go there to kind of help develop them. First of all, they bring money into those villages because they're tourists and they kind of explore everything and buy things that they produce. So they kind of help flourish the businesses that are still there. They promote other businesses to start appearing in those villages. And they also just bring people there, and those people are like locals. They kind of interact with more people. They kind of share their culture. They have lots of stories to tell. And this is just great. When I heard and saw this project, and I'm very happy it still exists, I was very, very interested in that. And what you're saying is quite similar. Although, I mean, you kind of thought about as far as I understand, like abandoned places where you could just kind of revivify.
No, there's programs in like Italy comes to mind, but they're all over, where there's declining villages and they have these almost like derelict buildings that they have like the €1 plan. So you go in and you buy a place or like a former like historical site for €1, but you have to come up with like a 3-year plan on how you're going to like retrofit. And if it's like a historic site, then you have to be like, okay, how am I going to use this to increase like tourism or whatever? What am I going to turn this into, right? I'm going to buy this castle, but I need to like make it into an Airbnb.
But it's really nice, I think. Although you do need to make it right. Some people just get it to get profit from it, which is not what it's all about. It's not always just about the profit.
No, it's about starting a commune so you can sustainably live together.
It's about history that you can share
and
with
everyone
other
can
people.
raise everyone else's kids.
Yeah.
So you can go out and you can party on the weekends.
Yeah. Although I don't really want to party anymore. This is dumb. I don't know. Partying is not something I miss, to be honest. But I do miss a little bit this freedom of, like, if you saw, for example, like a theater show where you want to go to, if you don't have kids, you can just, grab your things and go. If you have a kid, you got to plan that. And also, if you want to go there with your partner, well,
it's trickier.
Yeah, you got to find a babysitter.
Eventually.
Yeah, and it like doubles the price. And you're like, can I afford this? Probably not. Right. Okay, let's just watch a movie. It's not bad, but still.
Well, Camilla, it feels like we're kind of approaching a natural end.
You want me to make an outro, right?
I do want you to make an outro. I'm going to put you on the spot and make you do an outro.
Sure. Thank you everyone for listening. Thank you everyone for watching if you did. I hope you liked it. Don't take things too seriously. We're almost real. Where Camila and Josh, 2 friends, are talking about life. Hope you enjoyed that. Bye-bye.
Bye everyone. Take care.
Should I stop recording? Probably.
Yeah.